What's going on, everybody? Welcome to week number 1 of TPI Tuesdays. I'm Matt Santoro. I'm a doctor of physical therapy at Advanced Physical Therapy of Freehold, as well as a TPI certified medical practitioner. Now today we're going to be talking about the glutes, or what have been called the king of the golf swing. So let's get started with some anatomy. The glutes are 3 different muscles. You have your glute medius, your gluteus minimus, and most famously, the gluteus maximus. Now each of these 3 muscles is going to start on the pelvis, or a bone called the ilium, and they're going to travel down and insert onto your femur, which is your thigh bone. Now the gluteus maximus works to extend the hip, or bring the thigh behind you, as well as to externally rotate the thigh. The gluteus medius and the gluteus minimus work to abduct the thigh, or bring it away from midline, as well as internally rotate or turn the thigh toward midline. Now the glutes are incredibly important in the golf swing, which is why they've been termed the king of the golf swing. The glutes can contribute to maintaining posture, maintaining a neutral pelvis and a neutral spine. They work very much in balance, as well as preventing lateral movement or swaying side to side. Now the glutes are also one of the main power generators in the golf swing. Now in life they work very similarly. The glutes work to maintain an upright posture while you're ambulating or walking. They're very important in helping you rise from a chair as well as go upstairs. Now in the TPI level 1 screen, we're going to see the glutes working in 3 different tests. We're going to see them working in the overhead deep squat test, the bridge with leg extension test, as well as the single leg balance test. Now in the golf swing, the glutes are one of the main contributors to all 12 of the Big 12 swing characteristics. Now TPI, we don't like to call these swing faults because there's a lot of men and women that make a ton of money every week on the PGA and LPGA tour with these characteristics. But some things that we can see due to weak glutes will be things like swaying, which are moving back away from the target line in the backswing, or something like sliding, which is sliding toward the target line in the downswing. We can see this with early extension, which is moving toward the ball on the downswing, or possibly coming over the top. Now in life, we're going to see the glutes contributing to poor posture. We're going to see them leading to some back pain, hip pain, knee pain, or even some gait limitations. The glutes also contribute to what's called the lower cross syndrome. Now in this syndrome, what happens, the glutes aren't strong enough to take the pelvis and to rotate it back to maintain a neutral position. This is also going to lead to some tightness in the hip flexors, or the muscles in the front, which bring the thigh closer to the chest, as well as some stretched out and some weak abdominals. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go get changed, I'm going to get my gym clothes on, and we're going to talk about some different ways to fix weak glutes. So stay right where you are. I'll see you guys soon.
Alright guys, so let's talk about some fixes. Now for each of these fixes, especially with strengthening activities, we're going to want to make 2 considerations. Now the first one is we're going to want to use as full range of motion as possible. And the second one is we're going to want to engage that muscle or squeeze that muscle as hard as we can to get it working a little bit harder. Now to strengthen the glutes, I'm going to go over 3 different exercises that you guys can do at home. Each of these exercises are excellent because you don't need any equipment. All you have to do is find somewhere to lie down. I'm sure you guys can each find at least 1 or 2 places at home to get these done. So the first exercise is what's called a bridge. I'm sure a lot of people have seen bridges before, perhaps even done them themselves. What's great about the bridges is that it activates the glutes incredibly. So for a bridge, what you're going to do is you're going to lie down, bend the knees to about 130 degrees, clap the hands over the chest so you can't push off the table with the hands, and then lift your backside up off the table. So let's show you what a good bridge would look like. Lie back, get the head supported, knees to 130 degrees, hands up, keep the knees separated, lift, squeeze, and lower down nice and slow. So now, bridges can be progressed in a bunch of different ways. We do things like using only one leg for the bridge, adding things like mini bands to give the outside of the hips a little bit of an extra cue to work, or as well as holding a weight above the chest. That helps to engage the core a little bit more. Now the second exercise is going to be what's called a clamshell. Now a clamshell, you're going to be set up lying on the side with the hips and knees bent to about 90 degrees. You're going to keep the heels touching at all times and then separate the knees. So this is what a good clamshell would look like. Lie on your side, hips and knees to 90 degrees, hands relaxed, heels touching, separate the knees, squeeze, nice and slow on the way down. Now clamshells can be progressed fairly easily also. If you have a mini band, you can put that band around the knees, give you a little bit of extra resistance, as well as doing side steps or stepping laterally. Now with these, you want to make sure that the band that you're using is appropriate for you. A band that's too tight can limit range of motion and the exercise won't be as effective. Now the third exercise that we're going to go over today is what's called a reverse clamshell. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You're just reversing that clamshell motion. So instead of separating the knees, in this case you're going to keep the knees touching and you're going to separate the ankles. So let's show you what one of those looks like. Get set up, hips and knees to 90 degrees, head supported, hands relaxed. Lift up from the heel and lower down. Now with the reverse clamshells, make sure that you're actually rotating the hip or rolling it in, not just bending the knee backward. That's one of the major faults that we see with people who are introduced to reverse clamshells for the first time. Now those are 3 basic exercises that you can do at home. Some more advanced fixes for glute strength will be doing things like squatting, deadlifting, or lunging. Now each of those exercises are pretty technical, so if you're not familiar with them, make sure that you're under the supervision of someone who is familiar with it, someone who's good at coaching those activities and those movements, so this way you don't get hurt. We don't want you trying to get stronger and then ending up being sidelined from life and sidelined from sport as a result. So I'd like to invite all the golfers, all the non-golfers down again. Come on in, we'll get you screened using the TPI and the SFMA screens that we talked about last week. With the information we find, we'll get you an individualized plan to address your limitations. So if you guys need any more information, all you have to do is leave a comment down below or give us a call. Our phone number is 732-720-2566. I'll see you guys next week on TPI Tuesday.